50 NL over on Juicy Steaks is really giving me some trouble right now. So this is a nice break from that, and I'm actually having fun doing it. So. Here, we can just check. We've got our ace, so we've got outs. We can turn a few different draws, and that's fine. We can fold this. If we had two overcards, I'd be less inclined to just fold right off the bat like that. But with the queen out there, it's fine. We'll fold Jack 9. It's too early position to play Jack 9 offsuit. So as you can see, the tracking feature on Holdem indicator for the zone poker is not is not perfect. So here, I mean, just to kind of give you guys an idea. So it says like our win odds are 4.3 to 1. That's against, obviously. So if you guys watch my math video on pot odds and on pot odds, then you'll understand that that's 4.3 to 1 against, meaning I'm going to lose 4.3 times. Now I'm going to lose 8 times to every one time I win. That sounds about right, although it might be even worse than that. I guess it's saying if I hit a pair that I'll win sometimes. 4.4 to 1. So see, the pot odds are way higher than the win odds, so I fold. That's not how I would, necessarily play the game, but in that sense, it seemed pretty reasonable. I don't know where it gets the win odds here, but I'm just going to fold out and play a new hand. Ace-6 suited is certainly an open on the button. Alright, Ace-7 suited. Call the min raise. We can see it is kind of helpful just to sort of see like, oh look, I'm getting 7 to 1 pot odds. Like it certainly can't be a bad idea to call with almost any two cards if you're getting 7 to 1. So obviously we're not looking so great now, but any suited ace when you have even better than like, I don't know, 3 to 1 maybe is probably worth a call. Because aces can win on their own sometimes. So it makes sense. Heyo, speaking of aces. Boom. I should have some awesome graphics that comes up when I get aces. This guy's short, but I'm still just going to isolation raise. Make a pot. I could make it like half pot, but we'll just go ahead and raise it up. Guy doesn't have that much money, so maybe he likes his hand. And again, it is what it is. Sometimes you don't get any action with your aces, but it's not a reason to slow play them. Just raise. Just raise pot, raise half pot, whatever you want to raise. Just, keep the pressure on and don't get passive all of a sudden when you get a big hand. Makes it really hard to get paid. So this guy, obviously a short stack, but you know, and actually, you know, you can look. I mean, it seems to think for some reason that my win odds are 1 to 3 and my pot odds are 1 to 9, or 1.9 to 1 and 1.3 to 1. So I don't know. I mean, let's just go. Let's call. Those are pretty good odds. You know, getting 2 to 1 against almost any 2 cards isn't that bad. Look at that. Maybe it knew. Maybe it knew. All right, so there you go, guys. $1.73 pot raking my way. Pretty much, Holdem indicator just paid for itself. Not quite, actually. Holdem indicator is actually kind of expensive. I wish they had a. In my first review video, I said, you know, I wish they had a tier thing where, like, for lower limit players, you could get it for, you know, $30, and then it was. I wish they would tier it out like a lot of the poker software is, because it just makes sense. I mean, you're not going to sell this stuff to somebody playing 5 no limit when it costs $100. You know, 20 buy-ins is a lot on poker software. All right, here, top pair with the flush draw out there. We're just going to play pot control. We don't want to build a big pot out of position with, you know, three flush cards out there. This guy's betting pot into us. I'm not going to fold with, you know, top pair, even though I don't have a kicker. That heart will either speed him up or slow him down. So, you know, that if he doesn't have a flush, he'll probably slow down quite a bit, and now we all have a flush, almost have a straight flush. So I don't expect him to really bet out much here without a decent heart. And we had him the whole time, so he actually got lucky that those hearts came. And, you know, we take down half of another pot, not a full one, but what can you do? Can't win them all. Oh, look at this. Look at me. I got the eagle symbol. So I got the, that's the good player symbol. I always like that. It's a confirmation that, at least according to my stats, I'm doing something right. A little confidence boost. When you look down and the software has, you know, classified you as a fish, that is not always fun to see. You know, it's just kind of like, oh man, am I really playing that bad today? 8-9 suited's close. I think it's a fold. Might be an open right here in the middle position. 10 jack suited is an open. I know any suited broadways are opens, kind of according to Poker Snowy, link it in the description. Yeah, any suited broadways are an open. I'll tell you what, I've not been profitable with all suited broadways in my poker career, so I think you really need to understand how to play post flop if you're going to open that wide, and you certainly would be making a very small mistake, and probably not a mistake at all for yourself, to play a little tighter from early position. Because again, you know, pre-flop is important, absolutely, but if you look at, you know, I'll be doing a Poker Snowy demo, and that'll be, I might link that, or it'll be in the description at some point, but the errors that you make pre-flop, you know, those are usually like a couple, you know, part of a big blind, like, so small amounts, you know, small, you know, a few pennies. But when you make a big mistake on the river, that's where it can be for, like, you know, a quarter of a buy-in. You can make, you know, a 25 big blind mistake on the river, and I'm not talking about what, you know, what the actual dollar value of that mistake was, that hand. I'm talking over time. You know, getting all in with a set versus a flush, or, you know, a flush draw versus a set is, you know, whether or not it's the correct play, you lose a certain amount of money. You lose a huge hand, that one hand you lose, but over time, you know, the EV, you know, the expected value of the situation. So that is what it measures, and, you know, it takes a big mistake to to have a really bad EV in a situation over the long run. But you can make those on the river. You can't really make them pre-flop. Even, you know, raising like 7 deuce under the gun might be like an 8-cent mistake over the long run, as long as you play perfectly post-flop. Now, the guy that's playing 7 deuce under the gun probably doesn't play perfectly post-flop, but, you know, that's kind of my point. If you know hey, I'm more likely to make some mistakes if I play tougher hands like queen jack offsuit from, like middle position, or if I try to play queen 9 suited from middle position, or queen 10 suited from under the gun, or jack queen from middle position. That's if you know that you're going to have a tough time, just fold. It's not a big mistake. And again, if you are going to make mistakes post flop, it's not a mistake at all. So that's my advice. Is if you go and check out the link in the description and check out the Poker Snowy software, if you're not a very experienced player, play a little tighter than it suggests. Let's check back. We can maybe get a look at a free card. Betting there might have been good. Now that we missed, I feel like betting might have been the right play. In retrospect. Question is, do we bet the turn? I think we do. Let's go ahead and bet. And if he calls and the board changes, we'll bet. If not, we'll just check back. So board didn't change. He's probably got a 7, pair of 5, something like that. We'll just check back. He might even just have an ace. Yeah. Might have folded the ace, but I think he plays like all his small pairs pretty much the same. And I needed to bet 2 streets there to get him off of that. So, okay, this is good. We've got, again, it's not a lot of info, but we have that this guy played one hand, and he played it over here in the Holdem indicator info. Let's go ahead and raise 6-8 suited. But, yeah, I guess it would just take a lot. It would take having a lot of other very active players on here to glean a whole lot of info. Uh-oh. What is this? It changed my rating icon from the eagle to, I think that's like really aggressive post-flop passive, or aggressive pre-flop passive post-flop or something. Let me see if I can player stat assistant. No. Alright, well, player stats. Yeah,